It is my privilege to introduce a man who, if anybody has any doubt, the definition of a workhorse, of a man who is keen and smart and never stops working. What a privilege it is to introduce my colleague, Mr. McClintock.
Thank you. You know, we tried to do this a few years ago with a much larger majority, and we failed. The difference this time was the Republican leadership, starting with Speaker Kevin McCarthy and, of course, Chairman Jim Jordan and the rest of the team that wouldn't take no for an answer, that kept everybody talking, kept everybody together, ultimately to reach a common conclusion to pass this historic legislation with a much slender majority. You know, our borders were secure on Inauguration Day. The Remain in Mexico policy had slowed illegal immigration to a trickle. The border wall was nearing completion. ICE was actually enforcing court-ordered deportations. And yet that very afternoon, Joe Biden reversed all of these policies and initiated the largest illegal mass migration in history. And you know, I've never understood how our schools are made better by packing classrooms with non-English speaking students, or how our hospitals are made more accessible by flooding our emergency rooms with illegals demanding uncompensated care, or how our communities are made safer by introducing criminal cartels and flooding them with fentanyl, or how working families are helped by flooding the labor market with cheap illegal labor, or how our social safety net is strengthened by adding millions of impoverished dependent aliens to it. This measure restores the policies that secured our border and makes it harder for future presidents to refuse to enforce the law. You know, without enforcing our immigration laws, we have no borders. And if we have no borders, we have no country. History warns us that countries that either cannot or will not secure their borders simply aren't around very long. Now the Senate needs to act. And if it doesn't, then ultimately the American people need to decide how far down this road they want to continue, because this will continue until the people responsible for these policies are removed from office.